the rain, but in my soul it's a sunny day. 'Cause you're good like that. Yeah, you're good like that. Even when it's all going wrong, my heart is singing a different song, and I can't explain it. No, I can't contain it. It's just inside me. Got that Sunday morning feeling, I can't hide it. Counting blessings to the ceiling. I believe that you are working everything for good. No denying, your love is shining. That Sunday morning feeling. That Sunday morning feeling. Some people may never understand, but you're the reason I clap my hands. 'Cause you're good like that. Yeah, you're good like that. The kind of joy money never could buy. The kind of peace that surpasses my mind. No, I can't explain it.
This world is always trying to tell me I need more. A bigger house, a couple cars will fill the void. But then I get it and I still feel just as poor. So I tell all that to head right out the door. 'Cause I woke up with a good thing laying by my side. I woke up to some birds singing, hey look, I'm alive. I got my family, Jesus, and my health. And if I got all that, I really don't need nothing else, nothing else.
This life is always trying to get me in a rush. Keep moving quicker and one day you'll be enough. But if I do that, I won't stop and smell the roses and end up being soulless and hold nobody notices. I'm getting sick of endless scrolling on my cell phone. I wanna go back to the place I had myself known. The enemy could try to kill, rob, and destroy, but one thing he cannot take is my joy.
I woke up with a good thing laying by my side. I woke up to some birds singing, hey look, I'm alive. I got my family, Jesus, and my health.
And if I got all that, I really don't need nothing else.
'Cause I woke up with a good thing laying by my side.
I woke up to some birds singing, hey look, I'm alive.
I got my family, Jesus, and my health.
And if I got all that, I really don't need nothing else. Nothing else, no, no. I don't need nothing else.
Nothing else, nothing else. If I got all that, I really don't need nothing else.
Well, top of the morning, Great Lakes Church. How you doing? Woo! We're getting there. I love it. My name's Carson. If we haven't had the chance to meet, I get to be on the team here. And I just love Sundays, man. I look forward to them every week. It is like, it's such a jolt of adrenaline for all of us. So thanks for being here. If you're here for the very first time, thank you for being here. Now, if you've been here a lot of times, we're excited you're here too. But those of you that showed up to a big blue tower that you saw off the highway and you just rolled in the doors, that's a big deal to us, and we want to say thanks for taking the risk on us. But we'd also love to get to know you. And so if you're at a place where you're like, I think I'm okay if someone says hi to me, then we would ask you to scan any of the QR codes on the seats around you, or the one that's on the screen would also work. They go to the same place. It's a 3-question form, and it just helps us welcome you well, get to know you a touch, and then as a reward, for filling that out. We always ask you to pop right across the lobby into an environment that we call the suite. And it is aptly named because we believe that you are a very important person, especially, again, because you took a huge leap of faith today. And here's the cool thing about you showing up today. We always have a gift for you in that space, but today the gift is brand spanking new. And you have options now. I don't really want to spoil it, but you have good options. And everybody who's been a veteran around here is going to come up to me and they're going to be like, can I have one? And I'm going to say no. It's only for the first-time guests. And so, yeah, you'll have flexing power right out the gate, which is kind of cool. Now, something else you need to know, whether you've been here a long time or are just brand new, is that we're a church that believes in more than just talking about faith. We're a church that wants to live out our faith, and we want to be so generous and so outward-facing that if we ever disappeared, that our community would grieve. And so one of the ways we've done that is through partnerships in northern Illinois and southeast Wisconsin, but also all around the globe. And one of those partnerships is with an organization in San Pedro Sula, Honduras, called Paradise Foundation. Yeah, okay, somebody knows. Somebody's been there or knows of it. And our executive pastor, Rex, or as I like to call him, the Rexecutive Pastor, huh? Okay, that got a better response than first service. I got one laugh first service. Rex is there right now working with them on some stuff, and I'm going to let him give you an update. Check this out.
Hey, Great Lakes Church, it's Rex here. I am down in San Pedro Sula, Honduras, visiting our friends at Paradise Foundation. And let me just tell you, I am so incredibly proud of the work that they are doing down here. They have feeding centers, medical centers, education centers. They are making a huge impact in the lives of young people. And I'm just incredibly grateful for the opportunity that we have as a church to partner with them year after year. And in fact, I am at a camp right now because this weekend, 175 students, teenagers, have signed up to be part of a weekend-long camp. And I'm incredibly excited and grateful for the opportunity to speak to them and share with them a message of hope and just remind them just how much purpose and love God has for them. And frankly, this is an area, as I've been driving around and visiting homes and neighborhoods and villages, this is an area that needs a lot of hope right now. And so I am just grateful that Paradise Foundation started, that they are doing this immense boots on the ground work and ministry each and every day. And literally hundreds of young people's lives are being impacted in a very tangible way. And so just know, friends, that every time that you give financially, you are making a difference throughout the world, not just in Kenosha, not just through our own ministries at Great Lakes Church, but in places like this far, far away. And so thank you so much for your faithful giving. And I just want to encourage you to continue to give, and let's collectively make the biggest impact in this world that we can for the kingdom of God. I miss you all. I love you. I hope you're having a great Sunday, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And the cool thing, I've had the privilege of going down to Paradise twice now, and they do so much more than you would even know. They filter water for the entire community of El Marañón. They are doing providing free counseling services and parenting coaching for parents in the community, those camps of hundreds and hundreds of kids. They're providing physicals and eye exams, which are not offered anywhere else in the region. So their work continues to expand. And when you give to Great Lakes Church, it doesn't stay in the walls of Great Lakes Church. We try and push that generosity as far as humanly possible and impact as many people as we can by partnering with organizations that are already doing great work so that we can go further, faster. You can grab one of those blue envelopes in the seat backs in front of you if you have a physical gift today, and you can drop it in the silver stations on your way out. Or if you're a digital kind of person, you can go to greatlakechurch.com and click that give button. It takes about 30 seconds to set it up. And from there, whatever it is, whether it's a percentage of what you make or a one-time gift, however you choose to give, that is not lost on us. Thank you so much. Hear that from all of us on the team. It really makes an impact for the kingdom of Jesus. So we're in a series that we're starting today called Misquoted. Now, it's the perfect week if you are new around here, because we're going to start diving into all those ideas that we've heard about Jesus and about the Bible that might not even be true. right? I think we all grew up just hearing certain things and taking them at face value. Like if I ate a watermelon seed, that a watermelon would grow in my stomach. I still am leery of watermelon seeds, okay? Now, you've probably heard things that you it came from somebody you trust, and you're like, certainly that must be true. And then maybe years later, you've said, I don't know, actually. And this whole series is about exploring those ideas. One of the ways that we see misquotation pop up all the time, whether you know it or not, is in movies. And I'm a huge movie guy. And so together, we're going to explore a few misquoted movie lines that maybe you're getting wrong, or maybe you're getting them right. I don't know. We're going to check this out together, okay? Star Wars, why would we not start with one of the greatest franchises of all time? Is the line, Luke, I am your father? Or is it, no, I am your father? What do we think? I see a Luke down here holding up a 2. What do we think? Yeah, it's no, I am your father. What do you mean? What do you mean Darth Vader never? No, it was 2 separate lines, and we, as a culture, just merged them together. That is crazy to me. Okay, next one, Forrest Gump. Who doesn't love a little Tom Hanks? Life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Or life is like a box of chocolates. I'm hearing a lot of 2s out here. Can we give it a go on number 2? No, it's number 1. Are you kidding me? What past tense who? Okay. I need to rewatch, I guess. Okay, Snow White, any Disney heads in the room? Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all? Or mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest one of all? See, I see a lot of murmurs now. I hear this because you're saying 2, but you're starting to doubt yourself. What's the right line? The right line is number 1. I know. I'm just blowing your mind this morning. Okay, last one, Wizard of Oz. Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, or Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Okay, now I'm hearing a resounding 2 because you're catching on. Go ahead and bring it up. Bam! Okay. See, you've been living your life misquoting movies, but so have I. It's okay. We're going to get it right. Now we know the record's been set straight. Your world has been turned upside down. We're going to turn your world upside down with a great talk this morning as well. And we're going to turn your world upside down by singing some amazing music from our music team. So go ahead and stand and sing with us this morning. Thanks for being here.
Let praise be a weapon that silences the my fourth man in the fire, time after time. Born of his spirit, washed in his blood. What he did for me on Calvary is more than enough. 'Cause I trust in God, my Savior, the one who will never fail. He will never fail. I trust in God, my Savior, the one who will never fail. He will never fail. Perfect submission, all is at rest. I know the author of tomorrow ordered my steps. So this is my story, and this is my song, praising my risen King and Savior all the day long. 'Cause I trust in God, my Savior, the one who will never fail. He will never fail. I trust in God, my Savior, the one who will never fail. He will never I sought the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. I sought the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. I sought the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. That's why I trust Him. That's why I trust Him. I sought the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. I sought the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. I sought the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. He will never fail, as I trust in God, my Savior, the one who will never fail. He will never fail. Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the for you have never failed me yet. The promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never failed me yet.
God, we're grateful that we can sing those words and that we can believe them. We can know that they're true because each of us came into this room today carrying something, whether it's relational or financial or professional, something where it feels like a mountain. And we're desperate to see you move it. We're desperate to see you show up in it. You've done it before, and so we're looking for you to do it again. And our ask is that you would, that you'd show up in really real ways in each of our lives and do what only you can do. And when you do, we'll give you all the credit. Thanks for loving us like that. We love you. Amen. You can have a seat. Thanks for singing with us. I am really excited to start a new series today that we're calling Misquoted. I know Carson already shared that with you at the top. But the idea behind this is that sometimes we believe things or we go with things that kind of feel true but are not necessarily true. They feel right, but in our experience, we realize they're not as right as we thought. And it's maybe because grandma said them all the time or our dad told us. And when they're around long enough, we can start to think they must have come from the Bible because anything that's been repeated over and over again, especially by our good parents or good grandparents, we go, well, it must be from the Bible. But it may not be. And there may actually be something better for us to hang our hat on or build our life on. And so that's where I want to start with one idea that was proposed by the great Barbara Walters. Does everybody remember Barbara? 2020, right? That's Barbara Walters. And she gave the commencement speech at Yale University several years ago. And the bottom line of her whole speech, this is a woman that has sat with some of the most powerful people in the world, some of the most influential people in the world. And the bottom line was this: trust your gut. I know you just spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on an Ivy League education, but at the end of the day, just go with what you're feeling. Just go with it. Whatever your heart's telling you to do, whatever that thing inside of you is telling you is the right decision, just go with it. And that sounds familiar, right? Because that's kind of how we all have been taught to live our lives. What are we feeling? Whatever feels right in the moment is the right thing to do in that moment. Whatever our instinct is, whatever our reflex is, the things that we want to we don't think about, but we just want to do, those are probably right. Right? I mean, I don't know about you, but my heart, my instincts, my gut has betrayed me more than it's helped me. I mean, if you listed out all of the big mistakes and all of the major regrets that I have in my life, their genesis was usually in my gut and in my feelings. Sometimes it's very literal with like cupcakes. That was in my gut too. It didn't turn out well. So to help us kind of admit that we're all in this place together, I have a little bit of an exercise that I want to do, and here's how it's going to work. I'm going to bring kind of a riddle up on the screen, and I want you to answer it out loud as quickly as possible, okay? Now, I know you're going to be worried that you're going to get the wrong answer. Nobody's judging you here. This is a safe place, and everybody's going to be giving an answer, and we're not going to know who got the right one until the end, okay? But I want you to answer on instinct. Ready? Here's the first one. You're in a foot race, and you overtake the person in second place. What place are you in? A lot of you are like, wait, what? What? Okay, how many of you said second place? How many of you said first place? How many of you said I would never run in a foot race? Yes. Okay, if you overtake the person in second place, you are now in second place. But our instinct is to go first place, right? Because we're just thinking about numbers and the one that's ahead of 2 is 1. Right? But your instinct was wrong. It didn't help you in that moment. Let's try again. You're back in a foot race and you overtake the person in last place. What place are you in? I mean, I thought there would be unanimous answers on this. You know what I think is funny? Some of you are like, no, I still think you're in first place. If you overtake, you're not worried about this one at all. Here's the thing about overtaking the person in last place. I suppose technically you are now in second to last place, but how do you overtake the person in last place? I think it means you weren't in the race to begin with. But instincts probably made you go, well, you're in last place. If you overtake the person in last place, you're in last place. Okay, one more. Mary's father has 4 daughters. The first is named Nana. The second is Nene. The third is No-No. What's the name of the 4th daughter? Okay, you guys got this one, but I know some of you are going, Nunu. It has to be Nunu. Because there's a rhythm to this, and my instincts tell me to follow the rhythm, right? But the 4th daughter would be Mary. And over again, these riddles get shared, and you can watch people, they respond. Their instinct is usually wrong. So why in the world have we decided as a society to follow our instincts? Doesn't that seem like a recipe for disaster? And here's the thing. Most of us are going, I'm living in the disaster. So what if we did something different? What if we stopped accepting all cliches as foundational truth? I say this all the time. Sometimes cliches are cliches because they're right, but sometimes they're wrong. And I think because people in our life said them over and over again, or you hear them and they sound like the Bible, we go, it must be the Bible. And maybe somebody has it framed on their wall in their house, which means they probably bought it at Hobby Lobby, and we only buy Bible verses at Hobby Lobby, right? So it must be in the Bible. And what happens is when we get to the disaster, when we get to the thing that disappointed us, when our instincts did not pay off, because we associated it with the Bible, we start going, the Bible did not pay off. The Bible did not come true. And so I'm kind of done with the whole thing, right? And so what I want to do in this series is detach some of the cliches that we believe from the faith that we believe, because they're not always related. Sometimes they're just totally different from each other, and sometimes they're just a little bit of a twist off. But the one I want to sit on today is the one that Barbara introduced us to a couple minutes ago, but we're going to label it this: trust your heart. Because not all of us would say trust your gut. We would say, I'm going to trust my heart, because our heart is pure. Right? Our heart is good. Some of you are like, not my heart. I mean, you don't know my heart. We're going to talk about that. But this is kind of how we weigh out decisions. This is how we set direction in our life. What is our heart telling us? And over again, we go, my heart must have told me wrong. Which means maybe God told me wrong. Another way to think of it would be trust your feelings. Because when we talk about heart, you know this, we're not talking about the muscle that's in your chest pumping blood through your veins. We're talking about the emotional center of you. That's what we mean when we say our heart. It is the instinctual, primal, kind of fundamental feeling center. And it's just strange to me that we're making logical decisions emotionally. And we get to the place later where the disaster sets in or the regret sets in, and we go, what was I thinking? And somebody should lean over and go, you weren't. You were feeling. And when we make choices emotionally, we are not making choices rationally. This is how scammers get you, by the way. They get you emotionally charged up so that you're making decisions based on those instead of ration. I actually got to experience that firsthand this week. Got my identity stolen. It's super fun. It's super fun. And if it ever happens to you, you should plan to take a day off work to fix it, because it's going to take a while. The good news is everything's fine. I'm not saying that to tell you I'm in trouble or anything. It's all fine. It's all sorted out. But what I learned is when this guy called me And by the way, they can spoof this is like public service. I didn't plan on saying this, but this is just for your own good. If your bank ever calls you and it looks like your bank's phone number, ask them why they're calling and then hang up. And then call your bank on the number from the website or on the back of your card. Because what happened to me is it looked like my bank. He said he was from my bank. And so I got emotionally scared that I was losing money. And so I'm giving him information now that rationally I should never have given him. But I was feeling afraid. And I was feeling nervous. And it was like, I got to the end of it, I'm like, okay, God, you've got a real good sense of humor that I'm going to talk about this weekend. And you gave me a real life example, but that's how it works. And it may not be a scammer externally that gets you. It might be the scammer in your heart. Because your heart is one. We just don't know it. Which is why I think we need to change it from trust your heart to just acknowledging we need a new one. We need a new one. The one we got is broken. And it does betray us. And it does get us into trouble. And we should be really careful how quickly we listen to it. Now, the Israelites from the Old Testament, God's chosen people, they are such great examples of how this plays out. Because they trusted and followed their heart and their instincts and their guts over and over and over again. And every time it seemed to get them into trouble. You don't need to look any further than just after God has rescued them from slavery in Egypt, and Moses is up at the top of the mountain getting the 10 Commandments, and they decide that their heart is telling them they need something to worship, like a physical thing to worship. So they collect all the gold from all the people and they melt it down and they create this golden calf, and they are worshiping a golden calf, which is not the God who has just rescued them from generational slavery. But they went, it feels right. It feels weird to worship an unseen God. And everything we've always seen from everybody else, they seem to have this kind of object that they look to and they bow to. And I feel like that would help me really get into my faith maybe a little more. You can see how they're just feeling their way through this. And then God says, you're going to be my nation and I'm going to rule over you. You will not have a king. And then they start looking to the other nations and they go, but everybody else has a king. Like a person king. And if we don't have one, I don't know that we're going to get taken seriously. That makes me feel insecure. That makes me feel like unsure about this. God, we want a king. And they name Saul their king. That doesn't go well for them. And then there's a long, long story of king after king. Some are okay, most are not. And all of those kings lead them into idol worship over and over and over again. Because someone said, are you feeling insecure about your financial situation? If you just pray to this God, they will bless you. Are you feeling shame and sorrow over not being able to have a child? Just pray to this fertility God, and you will have a child. Can't find that special someone and you're feeling lonely? Pray to this God. And this is kind of how it worked. They leaned into their feelings, into what their heart was telling them, and they made some really poor, bad, regrettable decisions as a result. And you fast forward all the way to when Israel, because of these decisions, has now split into two kingdoms. There's Israel and there's Judah. And Judah is thinking about becoming really close friends with Babylon and Egypt, which is a no-no. God has said clearly, you're going to just be my people. We're not going to do this. But they're like, yeah, these are kind of the world powers right now. We feel like being on their good side is a good idea. So we're going to make some arrangements with them and maybe sacrifice some of our own autonomy. And we just think it just feels like the right move. God says they're going to lead you into idol worship. They're going to do exactly what's been going on. And they do it anyway. And in the midst of it, God sends the prophet of Jeremiah. And Jeremiah shows up and speaks on behalf of God, and I want you to pay attention to the things that Jeremiah points at as the problem. Because what he's not going to point at is the idol, the false god, or the mistake. What he's going to harp on is the reason for the mistake and the thing that drove them to bend the knee. This is what he says on behalf of God. The human heart, this is insane. The human heart is the most deceitful of all things. We just got done thinking that our heart was pure and good. And Jeremiah says that God says your heart is a liar. Of all things, in all of creation, the most deceitful of them is your emotional center. That you can get so revved up so quick and you can believe things are true and believe things are good and believe things are right, and they are not. The original Hebrew, which I won't pretend to be able to pronounce, the concept there in our English translation is deceitful heart, but the original Hebrew has to do with corrupt soil, kind of like Chernobyl. If you know the story of Chernobyl, there's a nuclear meltdown, and now nothing lives there. Nothing. No one goes on a cruise to Chernobyl. This is not it's totally ruined. The soil's corrupt, the air is corrupt, nothing can live there. And the idea that Jeremiah is communicating is that you should put up warning signs and barbed wire around your heart because it's corrupt like that. It's very difficult for anything good to come from it. And this is the moment where you're like, I kind of don't like coming to church anymore. Because you're not making me feel real good about myself. There's good news coming, so hold on. But this is fundamentally different from what we see every day on social media and what we see every day in the movies and what we see every day in our favorite TV shows and maybe what we've heard our whole life. We've been told that your heart is good and pure and will lead you to good things. And God says, not really. Your heart's going to lie to you. Your emotions are going to deceive you and probably lead you to some bad things. Just a couple sentences earlier, this is what Jeremiah said. Cursed are those who put their trust in mere humans, who rely on human strength and turn their hearts, turn their emotional center away from the Lord. And then he goes on. They're like stunted shrubs in the desert. With no hope for the future, they will live in the barren wilderness in an uninhabited, salty land. That sounds a little like Chernobyl, but this metaphor that he says about the shrub thing is so powerful because our heart, like the shrub that he's referencing, looks really good and it sounds really good, but there's not a whole lot of substance to it. So the bush he's referring to, everybody in that day, in that age, would have known he was talking about a tamarisk bush that grows in the desert areas, and it's beautiful. It's pink or purple flowers, and it can get really big, but its roots go really shallow. It does not grow deep into the ground. So when there's no rain and high winds, usually that bush will actually get uprooted, turn into tumbleweed, and be seen blowing across the desert. It looks really good at first, but it doesn't have staying power. There's no real substance to it. And that's what emotional decisions and emotional choices are, right? They feel really good right now, but just under the surface, there's not a whole lot to it. And tomorrow, I may not feel real good about the choices I made. For some of us, we've had that on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning. Last night was fun. Last night. But I kind of wish I hadn't lived last night. And we've got regret, but it felt good in the moment, right? So this is kind of what God's getting at with you and I. He loves you and he cares about you, and he's not saying you're awful. He's just saying you've got a rudder in your life that's going to guide you in some bad places if you trust it, if you lean into it, if you allow it to kind of steer. The good news is there is an alternative. Jeremiah says, but blessed are those who trust in the Lord. and have made the Lord their hope and confidence. Those are two emotion words, right? We would say, I feel hopeful. I feel confident. And the idea that they're attached to trusting the Lord, I think what Jeremiah is communicating is when you allow the Lord to be your emotional center, you have good emotions that you can trust then, hope and confidence being two of them. And then he goes on to say this, they're like trees, here's the other side of the metaphor, planted along a riverbank with the roots that reach deep into the water. And here's the result of that being true. Such trees are not bothered by the heat or worried by long months of drought. Their leaves stay green and they never stop producing fruit. And I hope you read that and go, that's who I want to be. My guess is you know people that's a description of, and that's why you respect them. That's why you might call them your hero. You watch them go through adversity. You watch them go through difficult times, uncertain times, and they were able to stay on their 2 feet and make it through, and there was something strong about that, something admirable about that, and you're going, I would like to have that in my own life. Jeremiah would say, you can, but not on your own. That the things that you want most are going to come when you plant yourself in God and not in your emotions. And think about the things that you and I would want most in this life. I'm not going to name them all, but I'll give you a few ideas. Number one, I think we all want to be productive. Even if you're having like a vacation, you want that vacation to produce something, right? When you go to work, you want that work time to produce something. When you're at home and you're dealing with your chores or whatever that it is that you're kind of fixing up at the house, you want it to produce something. There's something about being productive that we as human beings feed on. And the metaphor that Jeremiah gave is the tree is constantly producing fruit. So one of the ways that you and I can actually be real productive is not in the ways that we sometimes think, but it's when we plant our life and build our life on God. The other thing is that we all want to have a sense of confidence, which Jeremiah mentioned outright. But we want to be able to stand on our own 2 feet. We want to know who we are. We want to be okay with who we are, maybe even proud of who we are. We want to face tasks and face chapters of life knowing that we're going to get through them. We're strong enough for it. We're smart enough for it. That's that tree. Heat wave comes, drought comes, wind comes, and it stands still. I think we also want a sense of security. I mean, I felt that in living color this week, but you do too. This is why you lock the door when you enter your home. This is why you put up a fence around your backyard. This is why you maybe have LifeLock and change your passwords often. This is why some of us carry weapons covertly, because we want to feel safe. We want to feel secure, that if the you-know-what hits the fan, we're going to be all right. I'm not saying if you feel that, there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying if you do anything with that, there's anything wrong with that. But the promise from God is that you can have all that, find all that in Him. If you keep chasing what you want and you keep chasing what you feel, you're going to be disappointed. It'll look like you're going to get it. But when it does hit the fan, it's going to blow away. One of my favorite movies of all time, movie franchises actually, is The Pirates of the Caribbean. I love Captain Jack Sparrow. And if I could, I would live like him. He's just this very unique character. If you've never seen it, he's just kind of this weird guy, and he's probably drunk the whole movie or something like that. But he goes on all these adventures, and he's chasing down treasure like any good pirate. But one of the things he carries around with him all the time is a compass. And there's this great scene in the first one where he gets captured, and the guy that captures him says, "You might be the worst pirate I've ever heard of." Because he opens his compass, and the compass doesn't point north. And for those of you that are young enough to not have ever used compasses, they're supposed to always point north. And his doesn't. And it's kind of just dismissed, and you just think, well, that's Jack Sparrow being weird Jack Sparrow. What you learn in a couple movies is the compass was never meant to point north. It only ever pointed to what he wanted most in the world. So if he wanted treasure, it would guide him to the treasure. If he wanted a lady, it would guide him to the lady, right? Like anything he wanted, that compass could help him find the way. The problem is what he wanted most in life was constantly changing. It was always changing. And so he'd go and he'd find the treasure, and now he had the treasure, but he wasn't satisfied. And the compass was saying, you want something else now. And he's chasing that, and this is life. It's such a great metaphor for our life because our compass is broke. It doesn't point us to anything true, like north. It points us to what we want. Our heart, our feelings, our instincts, our gut is going to drive us to things, and those things are always going to change. I mean, you've experienced this in real time. You went out and you bought that new car. It had that new car smell, and it was amazing. And I'm never going to want another car. I'm never going to need another car. And 8 months later, I think I want a new car. I do this with shoes. We do this with furniture. We do this with clothes. Some of us do this with people. We thought they're the answer, and then we get to know them. Right? Like over and over again, we pursue these things because it's what we're feeling. It's what our gut is telling us to do. Our heart is telling us to do. And then we get it and we go, this isn't it. The shrub uprooted and blew away. That's why you and I need new hearts. We need whole new hearts. And the good news is God offers you his. It's not just a new heart. He offers you his. And when you take his heart on, now he guides, he directs, and he points to true north, unlike the one you and I have been chasing around for all of our life. And Jeremiah would talk to this end. On behalf of God, he said these words, I will give them, God says, hearts that recognize me as the Lord. They will be my people, and I will be their God, for they will return to me wholeheartedly. It's so fascinating to me, again, that the point that Jeremiah is getting at, the point that God is making, is it's less about the results of the decisions, and it's more about the way that the decisions were made. What was the driver? What was the fuel? What was the compass? How did you get aimed or oriented or directed in this direction? Let's fix that, because if we can fix that, then everything else gets better. And the answer, God says, is I'm going to give you a whole new one. Now, for those of us that have not been around church for our whole life, this sounds really weird. You probably have images of like open heart surgery, and God's going to do this and put a new something or other in there, or that you're going to get bathed in light and come out like younger and stronger and new heart and all that. It's not what God's talking about. Because remember, we're talking about the emotional center of who we are, the core of who we are, and that's what changes. In fact, Ezekiel, another prophet, would come along later and almost echo those exact words to Israel in the same way. And this is the same promise, and it came true in Jesus for you and me today. But this is what we read in Ezekiel. I will give you a new heart, and I will put a new spirit in you. I will take out your stony, stubborn heart and give you a tender, responsive one. A tender and responsive one. And this is why I say God's willing to give you his heart, because we live on the other side of Jesus arriving. And over again, we see his heart, and it is tender, and it is responsive. This is why Jesus was late to so many appointments, because someone would step into his path, and he would look them in the eye and talk to them and maybe heal them and then go about his business. It was never, I'm just getting to the thing I want or the place I need to be or any of that. It was never, Jesus would say this over and over again, I'm not following my heart, I'm following the will of my Father in heaven. He's the director of my path. And then we hear David give us a prayer to pray on a regular basis that invites this, that asks for this. You don't have to go earn this, by the way. You don't have to go to church for a certain amount of time before this kind of change is available to you. You don't have to know the Bible frontwards and backwards. You don't have to know all of how all of this works. I think you can pray the prayer that David prayed along these very lines. We read it in the Psalms. Create in me a clean heart, or a new heart, O God. Renew a loyal spirit within me. You have what I need. I can't figure it out on my own. I need you to give me what I need. And only you have. A new heart, a new compass, a new direction, a new way of thinking through all of my decisions, through all of my relationships, through all of my habits. So just for a second, and I want you to consider this, even if you are not a follower of Jesus. Like if you are here and you have not made the decision to become a Christian, this is totally okay, by the way. I hope you'll keep coming. And we can disagree on that for as long as you need. But I'm going to ask that you consider this, even if you're not there yet. What would your life look like if you were not making decisions based on the same things you've been making decisions on? What if instead of trusting your heart, you trusted something better? Someone better. Because think about your most recent argument with your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend. What got that argument started? Probably not facts. Probably feelings. You were hurt. You were offended. You were disrespected. So the question is, what would it do to your relationships if you were navigating them where you were trusting God's heart and not your own? What would it do to your relationship with your kids? I'm willing to bet some of us have grown children that we do not have a relationship with, we're not on speaking terms with. And if you follow the trail backwards, the genesis of that was probably feelings. Some of your coworkers that you can't stand the sight of. Is that feelings or facts? Probably feelings. So when God comes along and Jesus says things like, love your enemies, do good to your enemies, pray for your enemies. In fact, if you're at church and you're ready to give a sacrifice of, say, worship, and you remember that someone has something against you, I want you to leave church and go figure that out, then come back. That changes relationships. When we're making decisions in our relationships based on that versus what I'm feeling, what would it do to all the roles or hats that you wear in your life? Dad, mom, boss, employee, manager, coach. Think about how different, if you're a coach, how different would you coach if you coached with the heart of Jesus? It's like laughable, right? We cannot picture Jesus coaching because he'd have to be mean, right? And he'd have to be scary and loud. Some of us are like, I don't know that I could be a boss how I've been a boss if I were going to be one with the heart of Jesus. Because people get done what they get done because I make them. And they're afraid of me. Is that who we want to be, though? Like, that's how we want to be remembered? Or what kind of employee would you be if instead of sitting in your cube or at the counter or wherever it is that you do your job, and instead of just constantly thinking about how awful your coworkers are or how sneaky your boss is or whatever, and you were just caught up in the emotions of all that, you took a deep breath and you remembered that Jesus said, his heart is, I'm going to do everything I do, including working for my boss, as if I'm working for him. That starts to be way different. And it doesn't feel possible with the current hardware we have. And that's why we need new hearts. It'll change your routines, by the way. What you do from sun up to sundown, I think would be different. Because I spend so much time in that 24 hours chasing what I'm feeling. I'm feeling hungry. And I always joke, I've said this joke before, my favorite food is my feelings. If I'm happy, if I'm sad, right? It's whatever I'm feeling in the moment. I'm going to do things based on that feeling. And then the next day or even in the next hour, sometimes I'm like, I wish I wouldn't have done that. So what if I had a different compass? I had a different engine. I had a different gut, different instincts. If I did, well, then I would listen. I'd listen to that heart because his heart was mine now. And I can trust that one. I can go with that one. I can give that one the wheel and trust it to guide me into good things. You don't need to fix your heart. You need a new one. And I need a new one. And it's relatively readily available. So as you think about the week ahead, here's the thing I'd encourage you to try. When you're about to make a big decision, or you're about to fire off the email in reply to the nasty one you received, or you're getting ready to post that thing on social media, or you're getting ready to tell that person off in the car next to you, or whatever the case may be, just ask this question. God, is that what you're feeling? Am I feeling what you're feeling, or am I feeling what I'm feeling? Show me the difference. You're not going to like the answer. And you're not going to like what that means in the moment. But tomorrow, you'll be glad you did. You'll be glad you trusted his heart instead of yours. Let's pray. Jesus, this is all way easier said than done. As far as I know, you are the only one to ever have pulled this off. We'll need your help. We'll need you to be pretty obvious in the days ahead. We'll need you to catch us when we are accidentally stepping into responding, deciding, moving based on our feelings, based on our instincts. And when I'm tempted to ask why you would even give us those things if we weren't supposed to use those things, will you remind us that you gave us those things so that they could be tuned to you, not so that we could run amok with them. So, in just very real ways, give us the moments to pause and ask you, are these your feelings? If not, give me a clean heart. Give me the new heart that is yours. Because I trust you. We do. We trust you. So, guide us along. In your name, amen. Hey, thanks for letting us be part of your weekend. We don't take that lightly. You could be anywhere else. It's a big deal that you came out. If it's your first time with us, we would love to say hi before you leave in the suite just across the lobby. We will not keep you long. We don't ask for blood or your firstborn. In fact, we're going to give you a gift for stopping by today. But I hope you all have a great week. Enjoy the 1,000-degree weather. It's awesome. We'll see you next time.
to the stars now. Troubles behind. Tomorrow is ours now. I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling it in my soul. I'm feeling the rush. I'm feeling like let's just go. The drums and the beat are right. The songs in the key of life. And we gon' be alright. So why don't we hands up to the ceiling? Dance off for no reason. It's just what we've been needing. With the beating, yeah, yeah. Get lost in the dreaming. Get found in the freedom. Yeah, that love we believe in. It give me that feel good feeling. It give me that feel good feeling. It give me that feel good feeling. It give me that. It give me that. Yeah, that love we believe in. It give me that feel good. Hey. Baby, it's time. Show me your best moves. Don't make me hit mine. Show you how I do. I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling it in my soul. I'm feeling the rush. I'm feeling like let's just go. The drums and the beat are right. The songs in the key of life. And we gon' be alright. So why don't we hands up to the ceiling? Dance up for no reason. It's just what we've been needing. With the beating, yeah, yeah. Get lost in the dreaming. Get found in the freedom.